Hey everybody, it's Jesse again, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of our new subscribers to the channel. We're having a lot of fun, especially in the comment section, hearing so many cool stories and so much cool stuff. This is going to be Why Doesn't Gen X Care Volume 2 because of that comment section, and so many things were brought up that I missed. I forgot to add into the first video, so I actually think that it deserves another video. Now, I could have made that first one longer or something, but I think that these other things need to be reminded. The rest of us need to be reminded of these things too, because some of them are fun. So the first one on the list is acid rain. Now, this is the one that actually scared me as a kid. This was the first time I remember being afraid, because I hear about this acid rain and I would get like these visuals of faces melting off, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark type of, when they opened the Ark, the Nazis, that scene would, or something like it would, play through my mind. So that one actually scared me. And of course it turned out to be nothing. If the media had been honest, they would have told us, it's like the acidic level of orange juice, and, it only happens in densely populated places. You living in rural Florida, you're not going to be affected by it. But they didn't. They just liked to scare us back then, I guess. My personal favorite, which didn't really scare me, maybe I was older at the time, probably. I remember having a little bit of concern because of the graphics and stuff, but there was this African killer bees that were supposed to be just going to destroy the world. And they played it on the news quite a bit. And I remember the graphic, they showed them coming across the Atlantic from Africa into South America, and then up through Central America and right into my backyard. You know what I mean? They made it sound like if I stepped out and as soon as I put my foot on the porch, I would be on the back of a milk carton. You know what I mean? It was just it was crazy. These things were supposed to be almost indestructible. They were completely immune to insecticides and stuff, and they were killers. They didn't make honey and pollinate flowers and stuff. They just killed mammals, you know what I mean, and people. That was they were like the Jeffrey Dahmer of the insect world. So it was crazy. But I remember that one quite a bit, with fondness, because it was just so outlandish to try to scare us with these bees. But and then another one was which was not funny at all, but we went through it at a young age, was the AIDS epidemic. And that's something we all lived through together. We were all afraid of. It was something we all went through together as a group, and we, so that's like, I think that's left a lasting imprint on our generation, that whole thing, going through that at a young age. And this last pandemic will probably do something similar to these younger kids, you know what I mean? So we had gas shortages. You could only get gas if your license plate ended in a certain, an odd or a even number or whatever it was. The energy crisis, we didn't know if we were going to have electricity next month or whatever. They scared the crap out of us with all this stuff, and it was all avoidable. It was all, as we know now, 40 years later, whatever it is, 30 years later, we still got plenty of gas. Everybody, there's 3 or 4 times as many cars, maybe 100 times. I don't know the statistics, but there's a lot more cars on the planet, and they're all using gas. And so all those scares were completely nonsense, but they were scary at the time. The satanic panic. A lot of people experienced this, and I did kind of halfway, because it was my grandma, not my mother. My grandma was into that stuff, but and everything was devil this and devil that, and Jesus was coming back soon and all this. But as a kid, I mean, you hear that now and it sounds kind of goofy or whatever, but as a kid, when you hear that and you don't have a real firm grasp on what's real and what is just BS, you know, that kind of stuff is scary. So, and that stuff leaves a lasting imprint on you, you know, growing up, that it's still in there, you know what I mean? Those old fears. And so just that kind of stuff, as a generation that has affected us, as you know, a large portion of us at least, and we can all relate to each other because of all these things that we've been through. And like I said in my last video, the boomers, now every generation has their scares. Okay, we've been scared about nuclear war since they invented the atom bomb. I'm not arguing that. The earlier generations were scared of nuclear war, but they didn't have killer bees. As children, they didn't have killer bees and the AIDS epidemic and you know, acid rain and all this other stuff. We were inundated with these apocalyptic, the world's going to end tomorrow stuff, and they were one on top of the other from the time we were little kids. So if it was just nuclear war that we had to worry about, I think we would be a different people. Because, you know, we all grew up just, you know, worried about nuclear war, if it happens, whatever. No, but that wasn't it. As kids, we were bombarded with different holocausts, nuke and apocalypses. You know, it seems like every other month they had a new one. So that's my point about us being different from the other generations. To wrap up this video, I'd like to say thank you to everybody that commented on that first one and reminded me of these things. And I know there are probably more. There are so many, it's crazy. I might have missed some in the comments, or so if I didn't mention yours, I apologize. But I just wanted to mention a few that really stuck out in my head that I should have mentioned in the first video, is the point of this. I thank you sincerely for taking the time to comment and remind me of these things. They were important to us growing up. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks again to all the new subscribers. I hope you have a lot of fun on this channel. I plan to just goofy stuff and retro, nostalgic, but mostly I plan on doing, you know, conversation and ideas, not a bunch of graphics and stuff. So if that's what you're into, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate your time, and I'll end this one here, and I'll see you on the next one.